Good morning, everybody. As we learn our Pesach maamarim, we are, Baruch Hashem, well into our second maamar, which is all about the last days of Pesach and Kriyas Yom Tov. We are, being that tonight is Yom Tov, we're actually not going to be able to finish the entire maamar before Yom Tov, which was my hope, but it's Hashem, we will finish it after, and whoever has the actual sefer at home can totally go ahead and finish it on their own during Yom Tov. Tonight is this very, very special night to learn Torah. We commemorate the actual Kriyas Yom Tov. So anybody who's been listening to this maamar, I'm sure they're super duper excited about what's going to happen tonight, because tonight Mashiach is coming, as the maamar will very thoroughly explain. And yeah, let's do this. Okay. So yesterday we covered ground on Eis Daled on the fourth section, but we went a little bit fast. So I wanted to make sure that some things were clear. So I'm going to review a few of the footnotes that we may have missed. Okay, so basically what we discussed was this whole concept of sea and land. Sea creatures are creatures that are, sea creatures are creatures that are 110% fully one with their source of life, which is water. And if they are separated, they should die. And so sea creatures have this constant awareness of their life source, as opposed to terrestrial beings, which are mixed, which are generally, it's known that we come from earth. But if we are fully covered in earth, just like a fish, let's say a fish is fully covered in water, if a human being, chas v'shalom, is fully covered on earth, they actually suffocate and they pass away, chas v'shalom. So as terrestrial creatures, we have a level of separation. Also, our feet, I don't know if you can see, but I'm literally picking them up. They're not actually like implanted and rooted into the ground, Baruch Hashem. And so we have this level of being separate, quote unquote, seemingly separate entities from our source, if we think our source is the earth, which part of us is. And we have to constantly remember that even though the source of our guf is the earth, but the source of our neshama is our breath, right? Is the Eibusher breathing into us. But with our breath, even with our breath, we don't necessarily think about it. We're not very conscious of it, just like fish are conscious of water. We are actually on the opposite. We don't even think about our breath basically ever. I mean, now with coronavirus, everybody's having a lot of thoughts about breath, but in general, we don't really think so much about it, which reminds us or shows us how little of a understanding or like a conceptualization we have of our connection to our source of life. So now we're talking about how Kriyas Yom Tov, the Eibusher, it was a difficult nace, it was a difficult miracle. Why was it difficult? Not because he couldn't pick up some water around the earth. Like, of course he could pick it up. Like, it's Hashem. Hashem created the water. He could make it stop. But because this represented this aspect of the Eibusher changing the way of existence. Water things are water things, and earth things are earth things. And he changed the way that that the earth and the water combined, right? So the earth beings were able to walk on the seabed within the walls of water, which showed us and taught us that for us, we have to be more conscious, and we as independent beings walked in this place where the sea creatures are fully aware of the Eibusher's, their source of life and the Eibusher's existence. So for us, this has to be a really big reminder, and we have to work on this to really have this awareness of this existence that we actually, even though we don't feel like we're water beings, that we're so connected to our source, we are essentially connected to our source. And that's what changed. That was, as we said in the beginning of the maamar, that we had to prepare the Jews, right? So the Jews went through Yetzias Mitzrayim. The Jews went through the slavery and being crushed as Mitzrim, by the Mitzrim. And we had to stay strong with our, Judaism in this level of Gullus. but also the Eibusher had to prepare the world as a whole. And how does he prepare the world as a whole? All the waters in the world split. So anything that has a conscious feeling, such as angels, all the levels of Seder Shtalshelus, all the way of, how the world was created, all the worlds in which the world, the step-by-step process in which all the worlds were created, all of that was split during Kriyas Yam Suf, and the being below it, which doesn't have as much revelation of Hashem, was able to appreciate the level above it that has revelation of Hashem. So, for example, for terrestrial beings, we were able to walk on land, dry land within the ocean, within the river, within the Sea of Reeds, right? Which means we were able to appreciate something that has such a clear connection to Hashem, such a clear connection to its source. And so too with all the angels and all the levels of the worlds, Seder Shtalshelus, the entire thing split. And the world below was able to get a feeling of what the creatures on the world above, how they feel that connection with Hashem. It's a little bit, that's why I wanted to take the proper time to explain it, because it's a bit of a hard concept to understand, but it's such a powerful thing. So it wasn't just, makes sense this was a difficult miracle, as it says. It wasn't just splitting water. I can't do it, but I'm saying if Hashem wanted to, he could take my water bottle and split it in half. Okay, great, Mazel Tov. What did he do? What he actually accomplished was this level of splitting all throughout the world, which actually prepared the entire world for being able to receive Kedusha, right? As we said that when Hashem gave us the Torah, every single physical particle, every single physical thing was able to soak up or appreciate or shine through the actual Kedusha. And so it became permeated into that physical thing, as opposed to before Har Sinai, where people used to just, use a stick to do whatever they do with tefillin, and afterward they chuck out the stick, or use whatever and they chuck out the whatever that they used. There wasn't a thing that was permeated with Kedusha, right? So we had to prepare the Jews, and we had to prepare the world for this level of Har Sinai. And this was what's so important about Kriyas Yam Suf. Okay, which is so powerful because we're doing this tonight. Tonight we are going through our Kriyas Yam Suf, both the general what happened then, and as we said in the Maamar, the actual Mashiach one that is going to happen tonight. Be'ezras Hashem. Okay. I want to make sure I covered all of that. Oh, I also want to cover another part of the footnotes, which spoke about there's two ways of doing this, and it's very important to realize how this is a difficult miracle, because on the one hand, Hashem could just, there's two ways of combining earth and water, right? One is that the earth walks in the middle of the water, which is what happened. The other one is that the water fully envelops and takes over the earth, which is technically a flood. If the water comes and floods over the earth, so then yes, it would force all terrestrial creatures to be aware of their source, because they're swimming in it. They have to, they get that revelation in such a way. But the Eibusher did the harder version, so to speak, because Hashem wanted to make sure that all terrestrial creatures would have a sense of self, right? We didn't get drowned, chas v'shalom. We still had our feet, and we still walked on the dry bed of the Yam Suf, but we had the revelation all around us. We had that, as it says, that the waters were up on, it kind of looked like the walls are surrounding us. So we had that revelation all around us, as opposed to being fully, drowned in this water world, so to speak. So Hashem really, as we said in the Maamar, in the beginning of the Maamar, that this is a gift to us. Hashem did such a hard thing, and he did it as a gift to us. He could have done it in different ways. He could have drowned. I mean, it wouldn't have gone well with the narrative, but technically speaking, according to Chassidus, he could have drowned the earthly beings within water, and then that's, oh, hey, Mazel Tov, mikvah, whatever. But in reality, he did the harder way, because it was beneficial to us. It was so much more beneficial for us to be able to have that revelation. Okay. Okay, so let's do Ice Hey. The daily miracle, which is so powerful, because again, we hold by this very, very similar structure as the last Maamar. So we did what happened then, and we had to understand it more clearly. What is actually Kriyas Yom Tov, and why is it, or how do we understand from concept of Chassidus what happened then? And now we're going to see how to live with it on a daily basis. We're on page 86 on Ice Hay. The splitting of the Sea of Reeds as it exists on a daily basis entails a similar idea. This occurs in the context of our prayer, when we toil to arouse feelings of love for our Creator, right? So we said this in the last Maamar as well. Remember, we went and we told the story about the Alter Rebbe and how much love he had, and this is not V'ahavta, this is right? Okay, so now we're going to read footnote 78. Chassidus views davening as more than just a time when we present our request to Hashem. It is an opportunity, guys, an opportunity. Again, we're not mumbling words around in our lives. It's an opportunity to have a relationship with Hashem and to arouse feelings of love towards Him by contemplating His greatness. Okay? So again, we said this in the last Maamar in a certain sense. We're davening isn't just mumbling words. Davening is really taking a moment and saying, wow, I need to turn and be more aware, of my Creator, right? I need to be more aware and create, and this is an opportunity to feel that relationship in such a loving way, to arouse feelings of love towards Him. How? By contemplating His greatness. Okay? Very important stuff. Page 88, back to the Maamar text. The Pesach states, V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha b'chol lebavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'edecha. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. The terms with all your heart and with all your soul refer to serving Hashem with the 10 revealed faculties of the soul, while with all your might refers to serving Hashem with the all-encompassing faculties of desire and in particular pleasure, signifying a service of Hashem that has no limits. Remember, this is why the learning both Maamarim together is so powerful, because we discussed this in previous Maamar as well, that we should, with all your heart is the emotional faculties. With all your soul is the 3 intellectual faculties. So we're actually working so hard. And right now, I guess, reminder for everybody, we're doing Sfira. And right now, we're really preparing ourselves in such a way that we're working on Chachma, Bin, Das, Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. Well, I guess not Chachma, Bin, Das. That was technically, we're supposed to work on that during the Seder. Now we're doing Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Hal Yisod, and Netzach, etc., etc. So we're actually taking this to a whole new level, because it's with all your heart, all the 10 revealed faculties of the soul, and with all your might, right? So we said in the last Maamar that all your might is pushing yourself beyond what you think are your limitations. So remember, we spoke about this, about taking that moment at the Seder to think, what's my Paro saying? What's my Yetzer Hara telling me? It was funny, Leivik was the first day of Chol Moed, he goes, Mommy, today's Chol Moed Pesach, we're free. And so I was like, free of what? He goes, we don't have school. So it was really cute. So I was like, no, true, but no, we're actually free of our personal power, which means we have to be conscious that the Yetzer Hara that's holding us back and holding us down and making us negative, or making us self-conscious, or making us not be brave about the amazing things we can accomplish in this world, that Yetzer Hara, that's para, and now we're free. Now we're able to say, go fly a kite, Yetzer Hara, right? So now we're able to go with all your might, which means push yourself beyond what you think are your limitations and really, really accomplish what you're meant to accomplish. As explained in the previous Maamar, this unreserved service of Hashem is expressed in the pasuk, my flesh and my heart long for you, right? So we said this in the previous Maamar about this pasuk in Tehillim. God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. The terms my flesh and my heart refer to the body and soul, respectively, as the commentators explain, which we discussed in the last Maamar, both of which long and yearn for Hashem. Moreover, these sentiments are forever. They are unchangeable and everlasting. So we always have this deep love and desire for Hashem. We always have this like essential want. We want Hashem. We want Hashem in our lives. And I think I spoke about this. Somebody reminded me, I spoke about this for my birthday, that when we connect to this level, it reminds us that yes, we have a Yetzer Hara that sometimes prevents us from doing the right thing. But as long as we do the right thing, we push ourselves to do the right thing, we feel so loving and we feel so good after. It's just such a fulfilling relationship to love Hashem and to have that warmth and that type of awareness of Hashem, as opposed to, living life in this robotic day-to-day thing. So, right, so we both long and yearn for Hashem. This is also the sentiment described in the preceding verse. Whom do I have in the heavens other than you? One second, let me make sure I didn't miss something. Oh. A very important point that I forgot to point out. Okay, maybe I'll read footnote 80. The soul encompasses two types of faculties: revealed inner faculties and hidden, all-encompassing faculties, right? So the revealed ones, okay, we'll explain. The revealed faculties of the soul include the 10 soul powers that are vested within and function via the specific organs of the body, namely the 3 intellectual faculties that function via the brain and the 7 emotional faculties that function via the heart. They are termed revealed faculties because they are openly sensed within the brain and the heart, right? So we're able to think about godliness, and all of us here following the Maamar, we're able to take a moment and understand, use our brain to understand, use our brain to understand the concepts in Chassidus, and also our heart, because it gets us excited. As I said in one of the previous classes, that when we finish this Maamar, let's take that excitement and let's use it for the good. Let's use it to daven, or let's use it to, even if we're not really meant to work on Chalmud, but even if, let's say we were learning this not on Chalmud and you have to go straight to work, or you have to go straight to, caring for your children, etc., we have to use that excitement for the good and infuse the next level of things with this concept of godliness. So even if it's doing mundane things, we do it in a holy way. We do it with Hashem glasses on. By contrast, the hidden faculties of the soul are the soul powers that are beyond being limited to the constraints of the body's organs, namely the faculties of desire and pleasure. These two faculties are not vested within a specific organ or limb. Rather, they are all-encompassing faculties that are present throughout the body, influencing it from above, as it were. Hence, when one desires something, it is not his brain, heart, or any other organ that desires. It is the person as a whole who desires. Similarly, when one feels pleasure, it is not felt in a particular limb. It is the person as a whole who senses pleasure. They are termed hidden faculties because they are not openly sensed within a specific organ. From among these two faculties, pleasure is viewed as being even more lofty from the body than desire. More aloof. Serving Hashem can involve harnessing either our inner faculties or our all-encompassing ones. The former entails contemplating God's greatness by our 3 intellectual faculties and arousing feelings for Hashem of love, awe, and so on towards Him via our 7 emotional faculties. In this dimension, our service of Hashem is limited as per the restraints of the faculties being used. The latter, by contrast, involves experiencing an intense desire for Hashem and a sense of deep pleasure from our connection to Him beyond the abilities of our revealed faculties. In this dimension, our service of Hashem extends far beyond the restraints of our intellect and emotions. These two methods of serving Hashem are reflected in the 2 parts of the Pesach. With all your heart and with all your soul refers to serving Hashem in a limited manner using the 10 faculties, while with all your might refers to serving Hashem in an unlimited manner using the faculties of desire and pleasure. Okay, so let's give this a bit of an understanding because it's such a powerful point. I don't know if you guys know, but one of the biggest businesses in the entire world is the advertising and marketing business. From billboards to ads that pop up on your phone, to ads that pop up on websites, to ads that pop up on apps. Every place has an ad, has a beep, has a boop, has a something that they're trying to sell you. And it is the biggest, one of the biggest businesses in the entire world, because it plays off of our desire and our pleasure. They're wanting whatever it is that they want us to want. They want us to want it very badly. And being that it's such a powerful pleasure and desire are such powerful emotions. They're not even contained within the 10 within the 10 faculties within our body. It is an all-encompassing feeling. So we have to learn how to tap into that feeling for Kedusha, not just for the latest iPhone or, whatever is the latest thing being sold to us. But really, we have to learn to tap into it for creating a desire, a loving, a cleaving for Hashem himself, right? So we have to work. And again, we said this in the last Maamar, that as long as we work on learning every single day and davening and trying to really put our mind and our emotions into it, it can help us reach this level of pushing beyond those limitations of our mind and our emotions and having this deep love and desire for Hashem himself, okay? If everybody is up for giving me a few more minutes, maybe 4 or 5 more minutes, we can actually finish Ice Hay, and then we'll do Ice Vav after Pesach. Oh no, we'll do it together with Mashiach in Yerushalayim tonight. Can't wait to see you guys there for this year. Okay, we are up to the bottom of the page 88. This is also the sentiment described in the preceding verse. Whom do I have in the heavens other than you? I do not desire anything together with you in the earth. My flesh and my heart long for you, right? This is what we feel. We feel this loving. We feel this desire. In his work entitled Sharish Mitzvahs HaTfilah, the Tzemach Tzedek explains the love depicted in this verse by relating, right? We know the story. When my master and teacher, Reb Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the Alter Rebbe, would be in a state of spiritual ecstasy, he would be heard saying the following: I do not want anything. I do not want your Gan Eden. I do not want your Olam Haba. All I want is you, yourself, right? However, despite the fact that this method of serving Hashem is beyond restraint, with all your might, it becomes manifest in a feeling of love. Love the Lord your God, and permeates the levels with all your heart and with all your soul. In other words, the unlimited approach with all your might fuses with and illuminates the 10 revealed inner faculties of the soul and the 2 cavities of the heart, so that they too join in this unlimited way of serving Hashem, right? So for example, lahavdil, lahavdil, lahavdil. But if you see this ad for this most amazing cell phone, or this most amazing gadget, or this most amazing whatever piece of article of clothing, and suddenly you're like, wow, I want that. You start thinking about it in your chachma bin and das. You start loving it. You start having, appreciation for it. You start having netzach. You have this like determination to get it. It goes through all the different levels. It actually it gets fused back into the actual levels of your soul that are actually within you, even though it originated in this level of desire, which was way above and beyond you. This is similar to spiritual meaning of the splitting of the Sea of Reeds of Kriyas Yam Suf, where a level beyond Hishtalshlus, right? The level, something beyond this level of step-by-step creation of the world is revealed, allowing for the exposure of a dimension that had previously been concealed, as explained above at length, right? So that's what we said. In order to understand this, we have to see what the Eibusher did. He split all the waters all throughout Seder Hishtalshlus, not just in our world, everywhere in our world, but in every single world. And he was able to help the feelings that are above that level, right? So for us, let's say it's a desire. We have a desire for that thing, lahavdil, but let's say we have a desire for a thing. And it was able to permeate through into our the level that is below it, which is something that is actually within us, right? So this desire for the latest iPhone, suddenly I'm thinking about it, I'm loving it, I'm experiencing it, I'm netzaching with it, I'm uniting with it, connecting and bonding and all these good things. It happened in that level, and so too with Kriyas Yam. So that's exactly what happened. So we actually live with this concept, again, living Chassidus. We live with this concept of Chassidus, and we're able to appreciate when this happens in our lives. So we have to realize that tonight, Kriyas Yam Suf, the Eibishter is splitting all the waters yet again, and we get this boost of inspiration where we get to appreciate a higher level of Kedusha that we don't generally feel because we are terrestrial beings and we're being put in this place where it's meant to be water creatures, and where they have such sensitivity for their source and such sensitivity for Hashem, and we get to walk on that land. So tonight, please, I want to ask everybody, take a moment, if you have this Maamar at home, take a moment to, maybe review it or learn a little bit. If you want, you can even finish it. The next ice is a little bit, it has some concepts of Chassidus that are a little bit lofty, but I believe in each and every single one of you, and I believe that you guys can do it. And afterwards, we can learn it together, and we can bring about it. But I want everybody to realize that this doesn't just happen back then. This is us right now, and we will be walking together, as it says in our Maamar, as it says in the Haftarah. We'll be walking together through the 7 crossings to get to Eretz Yisrael, and we will be together with Mashiach, finishing this Maamar together. L'chaim.